Stop lying to yourself. If you really want to know why women overlook you for someone else, it's not because you're too nice. It's not because you don't have abs, a mansion, or millions in your bank account. It's because she didn't feel anything powerful in your presence. Let me say that again for the guys in the back. She didn't feel something. Because attraction? It's not logical. It's biological. It's emotional. It's psychological warfare. And whether you like it or not, women are instinctively drawn to certain types of men over and over again. Not the loudest guy in the room, not the richest, not even the best looking, but the one who radiates a certain kind of energy, a signal that says, I'm not chasing validation. I am the validation. And in this video, I'm exposing exactly who those men are, with zero sugarcoating. This isn't about changing who you are. This is about identifying which archetype you naturally lean toward, and learning how to evolve into the kind of man who makes her pulse race without saying a single word. Because let me tell you something most dating coaches won't. Women don't choose who they're attracted to. They respond to who they feel pulled toward. And that pull isn't random. It's shaped by dominance cues, emotional control, and unshakable self-belief. Still think attraction is about nice guys and texting strategies? Wake up. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." This isn't a debate. This is a revelation. If you're tired of watching women treat you like an option while they obsess over guys who don't try half as hard as you, then you need to keep watching. Because I'm breaking down the 7 undeniable masculine energies that trigger desire every single time. By the end of this video, you'll know why the same guy can have 10 women competing for his attention while you get left on read. How each masculine archetype taps into a woman's deepest evolutionary instincts, and most importantly, which one you are and how to maximize it. And no, you're not stuck with the archetype you were handed. You can evolve, you can transcend, you can level up. But only if you're willing to stop lying to yourself and face the truth head on. Because women can sense insecurity before you even open your mouth. And if you're not grounded in an energy she feels, you're invisible, you're forgettable. But when you step into one of these 7 masculine energies with purpose, she'll remember your name before she knows why. So here's what I want you to do. Watch this video until the very end. Because one of these 7 types is already inside of you, and once you understand how to own it, you'll never see attraction the same way again. Subscribe right now, hit that bell icon so you never miss a drop, and give this video a like if you're ready to evolve into your next level. Share it with a brother who needs to hear this. Comment this mantra below to lock it in. I attract without effort. I radiate masculine energy. This is alpha energy. Let's begin. Stay focused. Type 1, the grounded protector. He doesn't say much, but when he does, you feel it. You want to know why this man gets attention without chasing. Because women feel safe around him, but not just physically, emotionally, energetically, spiritually. He's not loud, he's not performative, but he moves with a calm, masculine confidence that says, I can handle chaos and still protect peace. This is the man who could be surrounded by noise but remains unshaken. He doesn't flinch when tested. He doesn't chase after drama. He doesn't need to be seen, because his presence already commands respect. He's the kind of man you lean into when the world gets overwhelming. And that's what women feel drawn to. His emotional strength. Let's be clear. We're not talking about the nice guy who says yes to everything just to please her. That's weakness dressed up as kindness. No, the grounded protector has boundaries. He protects her, yes, but he also protects his own peace. And that's what makes her trust him. Psychologically, women are wired to seek out men who provide safety on multiple levels. Not just someone who can fight off a burglar, but someone who can remain unmoved in the face of emotional storms. Research in evolutionary psychology even shows that women subconsciously associate calm confidence with higher status and long-term stability. And here's the twist. The grounded protector doesn't ask for trust. He simply lives in a way that earns it. She opens up to him without knowing why. She lets her guard down around him without being told. And when he speaks, even in few words, it lands. Because stillness is his superpower. And in a world full of loud boys trying to prove something, he stands out as a man who has nothing to prove. So ask yourself, do you bring safety or do you bring stress? Do people feel more calm after talking to you or more anxious? Because if you're not grounded, you're just another man adding noise to her life. Type 2, the elusive alpha. He's present, but never predictable. You'll feel him watching, but good luck figuring him out. He's the one she can't stop thinking about, even when he's not around. Why? Because the elusive alpha operates like a psychological riddle. He knows how to be magnetic without ever being available. He gives you a moment and then vanishes into mystery. He's warm, but never too warm. He shows interest, but never attachment. And that uncertainty, that unresolved tension, it's addictive. See, women are emotional creatures, and emotions are amplified by uncertainty, not knowing where they stand with him, not knowing when he'll text back, or if, not knowing if she ever truly had him. That's what keeps her locked in. Because as much as people claim they want clarity in love, the human brain craves suspense. Neuroscience has proven that dopamine spikes hardest, not when we get a reward, but when we anticipate one. That's what makes the elusive alpha so powerful. He doesn't chase, he doesn't explain, he doesn't seek validation. His time is earned, not given. And she feels lucky just to get a piece of his attention. Let me be clear, this isn't about playing games. It's about being so centered in your own path, your own mission, that you don't need to be anyone's emotional life raft. The elusive alpha is not cold. He's just selective. He's warm to the deserving, but completely unavailable to the entitled. And that contrast, that rare access to his inner world, it drives women crazy. Because the truth is, the men women remember the most aren't the ones who were always there. They're the ones who were just out of reach. So let me ask you, are you creating space for her imagination to chase you? Or are you oversharing every thought like a Netflix series she can binge in one night? The elusive alpha is a slow burn. He doesn't overwhelm, he haunts. And the moment she thinks she's figured him out, he shifts. Type 3, the unapologetic visionary. He doesn't follow trends, he creates them. This man doesn't just attract women, he inspires them, because everything about him says, I know exactly who I am and where I'm going. The unapologetic visionary is a man on a mission. And that mission, it's bigger than her, bigger than dating, bigger than validation. He's not obsessed with attention, because he's obsessed with purpose. And that level of focus is rare and dangerously attractive. Women feel it in his presence. He's not checking his phone to see who's watching. He's not tweaking himself to fit in. He's too consumed by building, growing, becoming. And that is what pulls them in. Because deep down, women don't want a man who just wants them. They want a man who wants something greater and invites them along for the ride. Let's be real. Most guys shrink to fit the mold. They dial it down to avoid rejection. They mute their ambition to seem more chill. But the visionary, he's the opposite. He speaks in bold, unfiltered language. He doesn't ask for permission to think big. And he never dilutes his vision to make someone else feel more comfortable. Women admire him because he makes them feel like they're in the presence of something rare. And that's the key word, presence. He's fully alive, fully expressed, unshakably authentic. His confidence doesn't come from looks, money or attention. It comes from knowing he's living life on his terms, and he's not slowing down for anyone. Want to know why this man is irresistible? Because he's going somewhere, with or without her. And ironically, that's what makes her want to be part of his world. In the words of Friedrich Nietzsche, he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. The unapologetic visionary has a why, a fire, a direction, and whether she ends up by his side or not, she'll never forget how it felt to stand near him, even for a moment. So if you're still trying to be what she wants, you've already lost. Women don't want men who follow. They want men who lead with vision. Type 4, the emotionally dangerous man. He's not good for her peace, but he's unforgettable for her soul. Let's stop pretending. Not every man women desire is good for them. Some men trigger something darker, deeper, something they can't explain, but can't walk away from either. The emotionally dangerous man is not a villain. He's not abusive, but he is unfiltered, intense, and emotionally uncontainable. He shows her sides of herself she didn't know existed. He pulls her into chaos, and somehow makes it feel like clarity. See, most men are predictable, safe, flat. But this man, he's a walking contradiction, charming one minute, distant the next, loving, then unavailable. And no, it's not a game. It's gravity. His presence feels like poetry written in fire. And women are drawn in not just by how he makes them feel, but by how he makes them feel everything. He awakens emotions they've buried. He activates feminine energy through emotional extremes. Sound toxic, only to those who don't understand polarity. Because here's the truth, passion is not created by peace. It's created by tension, unpredictability, and a constant edge of the unknown. Psychologically, this type of man activates the dopaminergic uncertainty loop. When a reward is inconsistent, the brain obsesses. That's why she checks her phone 20 times an hour after he disappears. That's why she remembers the exact words he whispered months ago. That's why she compares every other man to him, and they all fall short. He doesn't try to be memorable. He just is. And no, not every woman can handle this man. But the ones who do, they'll never forget him. He imprints. His absence is louder than other men's presence. His silence is more emotional than most men's paragraphs. And his unpredictability? It creates emotional addiction. Now let me be very clear. This man is not about manipulation. He's about intensity. He lives in extremes. And women, especially the ones tired of emotionally dull relationships, are addicted to the high he brings. So before you judge this archetype, ask yourself this. Has a woman ever said, "You drive me crazy, but I can't stay away"? If not, then you've never touched this frequency, because the emotionally dangerous man doesn't win her over. He consumes her attention. And when he's gone, she doesn't just miss him, she questions if she ever really knew him at all. Want to know the real twist? Some of you watching are this man, but you've been trying to tame yourself to be more acceptable. Don't. There's power in your intensity. Learn to master it, refine it, aim it, and you'll become lethal. Type 5. The deep psychological mirror. He doesn't just understand women, he understands her. Forget the smooth talkers, forget the pretty boys. You want to know who haunts a woman's mind after the butterflies fade? It's the man who made her feel deeply understood. The one who didn't just compliment her looks, but could read the unspoken fears behind her smile. He's not flashy, he's not overly dominant, but he has the kind of emotional awareness that makes her feel like she's being studied, stripped down, and seen in ways even she hasn't dared to look at herself. And that's what makes him powerful. Not because he chases her, but because he gets her. Let me make this brutally clear. Most men are uncomfortable with female emotion. They try to fix it, silence it, escape from it. But the deep psychological mirror, he invites it. He welcomes her chaos. He lets her unravel in front of him, and never once judges her for it. He holds emotional space like a fucking fortress. And for women who are used to being too much, this man feels like home. Psychology backs it up too. According to studies on emotional intimacy and attachment, the number one predictor of long-term female desire is feeling emotionally understood. Not flowers, not gifts, not grand gestures, but emotional safety paired with deep self-awareness. The deep psychological mirror doesn't flinch when she's vulnerable. He doesn't get reactive when she's moody. He doesn't run when she tests him. He leans in. He listens to the things she says and the things she doesn't. And the most dangerous part, he doesn't offer shallow validation. He holds up a mirror and reflects the truth, beautiful or brutal. He challenges her while making her feel safe. He calms her while still making her feel wanted. He becomes the emotional blueprint against which all future men will be measured. Because once a woman has tasted that kind of depth, that kind of mental intimacy, no surface-level man can ever touch her again. So ask yourself, do women feel emotionally exposed in your presence, or emotionally ignored? Do they open up, or shut down? Do they feel safe enough to surrender, or do they stay guarded and perform? Because if you're not penetrating her mind, you'll never reach her body or her heart. The deep psychological mirror isn't common, but when he walks into a woman's life, even for a moment, he becomes unforgettable. He doesn't raise her heart rate with adrenaline, he raises her awareness with presence. And that's real seduction. Type 6, the unreachable rebel. He lives by his own rules, and that's exactly why they want to break them. He's the one your ex still compares every man to, the one who never begged, never explained, never needed her approval to move how he moves. Because this man, he doesn't play the game. He rewrites the rules. The unreachable rebel is both a warning and a fantasy. He's the fire women know will burn them, but they still touch it. Why? Because in a world full of men begging to be picked, to be liked, to be validated, he chooses himself. He doesn't need to rebel loudly. He rebels by existing unapologetically. He walks into a room and shifts the energy. He doesn't ask, what's trending? He is the trend. And the thing that makes him lethal? He's not looking to impress. He's not seeking connection. He's not even trying to be attractive. He just is. There's a mythos around him, a danger, a silence that speaks louder than any performance. And women. They don't just want him. They want to tame him. To be the one who breaks through. To be the one he finally chooses. But that's the trap. He doesn't need saving. He doesn't want to be understood. He's too busy exploring life on his own terms. No leash, no labels, no limits. And that kind of freedom, it drives women mad. Psychologically, this man activates what's called the challenge-response-arousal system. When something feels just out of reach, when it's not easily won, the brain associates it with higher value. That's why her heart races. That's why she justifies his silence. That's why she tells her friends, I don't even know why I like him. I just do. Because the unreachable rebel doesn't chase. He creates gravity. You feel pulled toward him and powerless to resist. But don't get it twisted. He's not rude. He's raw. He doesn't ghost. He just goes. He's not withholding affection. He's just never depended on it. And for women who are used to men who orbit them like planets, this man is an asteroid. He crashes in, leaves a mark, and vanishes. And still, she remembers him. Not because he said the right things, but because he made her question everything. So here's the uncomfortable question. Are you begging to be invited in? Or are you so in control of your own life that she starts begging to be part of it? Because when you become the unreachable rebel, you don't just get attention, you get obsession. Type 7, the spiritually grounded king. He's not chasing women, he's walking with God, and that's what makes women chase him. This man doesn't force attraction. He doesn't manipulate emotion. He doesn't obsess over tactics, games, or alpha performances. Why? Because he knows who he is. And, more importantly, he knows whose he is. The spiritually grounded king operates from a place of inner alignment. He's governed not by lust or ego, but by principle, purpose, divine conviction. And that energy? It's rare, it's powerful, it's deeply magnetic. He's not reckless with women. He's intentional. He doesn't use words to get inside her pants. He uses presence to get inside her spirit. And that presence, it's rooted in something bigger than him. You can feel it in the way he speaks. Measured, grounded, commanding. In the way he walks. Calm, but certain. In the way he looks at you, like he sees past your walls and straight into your core. Women don't just want to sleep with this man. They want to stand beside him, because they can feel that his life is built on something unshakable. See, most men are lost in their impulses, controlled by lust, derailed by ego, empty on the inside but loud on the surface. But the spiritually grounded king, he's done the inner work. He's faced his demons. He's walked through the valley of rejection, addiction, insecurity, and came out refined by fire. He doesn't just know his purpose. He embodies it. And that level of inner peace, that kind of divine masculinity, it makes women feel safe to soften. She trusts him. Not because he asks for trust, but because he lives in a way that reflects wisdom, discernment, and discipline. In psychological terms, this man embodies what Carl Jung called the integrated masculine. He's not just strong, he's wise. Not just powerful, he's principled. He's the embodiment of divine order in a chaotic world. And that presence, it humbles the loud. It softens the guarded. It awakens the feminine on a soul level. Because this man, he doesn't need followers. He needs legacy. And for the right woman, being beside him doesn't feel like submission. It feels like elevation. So here's the final challenge. Are you chasing women? Or are you becoming the kind of man women pray to meet? Because once you embody this archetype, you stop competing, you start commanding. And the world notices. Now you've seen them all. The grounded protector, the elusive alpha, the unapologetic visionary, the emotionally dangerous man, the deep psychological mirror, the unreachable rebel, and the spiritually grounded king. 7 archetypes, 7 energies, 7 versions of masculine power that pull women in without effort, not because of tricks, but because of truth. So now comes the real question. Which one are you becoming? Not which one you think you are. Not which one you used to be. But which one you're actively building. Because listen, this isn't just about attraction. It's about embodiment. It's about becoming the kind of man who doesn't need to chase. Because he lives in such alignment with his purpose that everything and everyone starts aligning with him. If this video made something inside you click, if it reminded you of who the hell you were before you got distracted by games, rejection or self-doubt, then it's time to act like it. Here's what to do next. Subscribe and hit that so you never miss another drop of alpha energy. Like this video if one of the 7 types hit you in the gut. Share this with a man who needs to wake up and rise into his power. Drop this mantra in the comments right now. I'm not chasing attraction. I'm becoming the reason it exists. Because when you lock in that truth, you stop wondering how to be chosen, and you start becoming undeniable. This is Alpha Energy. I'll see you in the next video.